Well, on this sunny day in July, I've made my way to Halmstad, a summer jewel on the west coast of Sweden. And here, history has made its mark as the Danes and the Swedes have fought over the land. And even though it's Swedish today, you can still find clear evidence in the local gastronomy that it was once Danish. And this is the place where history and tradition still matters, which adds to the contrast between the busy summer scene at the beach and the quiet rural country life. So when you're tired of the beach, take your bike for a ride, and before you know it, you're in untouched nature, plenty of rich farmland, and an amazing amount of small producers to visit that are more than happy to give you a sample of the best that this region has to offer. And that is exactly what I'm going to do.
In this episode, I'm visiting Halmstad, a mid-sized city in an incredibly varied region in the western part of Sweden. I'll be preparing a Swedish classic, Turkey Wallenbergare with cucumber. At Wapnö, I'll be frying some mouth-watering steak with smoked garlic and creating a delicious dessert called veal dance. And at the beach, I'm going to cook some wild salmon with kale. I'm in Halmstad, the largest city in the region of Halland. This is where Jörgen Persson, award-winning table tennis player, lives. He has represented Sweden in every Olympic Games since table tennis was introduced into the Olympic program.
This is the best table tennis player in the entire world. I mean, there's no other guy. You couldn't even walk the streets in China, for instance?
No, at the best times, yeah, it was a nice time, yeah. When you're the number one in the world, that's the best feeling, yeah.
This is my hero, you know. When I was a kid, I was trying hard.
Yeah. I'm useless as a cook, yeah, so we change.
Yeah, I'll teach you how to make pancakes and you teach me how to serve.
Yeah, okay, that's a deal.
Good. I have to ask you, and I pretty much know the answer to it, but still, being in China and eating Chinese food there, and I've seen Chinese restaurants here. Is it Chinese food you get here?
No. it's made for us here. Yeah. Because I have some Chinese friends that are coming, and they say, this is not Chinese food. We want real Chinese food. Yeah, okay, and I'm lucky. I have some Chinese friends here, so they cook for them then, because it's made for us, this Chinese food. Yeah, so
but the Halland food you get here?
Halland food, for sure you get here.
That's Halland food?
Yeah, that's Halland food. Yeah.
So if you were to give me some advice of things to see here and things to do while I'm here.
Of course, to the sun.
Yeah.
To go out there on the beach and look the surroundings there.
Yeah.
Then just to relax there, see the nice view of the sea.
Now that's a cool bike.
Yeah, actually I fixed it for you. That's the way you should travel around Halmstad. With the bike, yeah, of course. Should be the way to travel around Halmstad. That's the best way.
You couldn't find bigger wheels?
No, I didn't find that one. That was the biggest one. I thought to be safe and to travel safe. I thought that's the best way.
Excellent stuff. Well, thank you.
And then we have one more thing.
Okay.
We should have a game, of course. A ping pong game, yeah? So you have to practice little then, yeah? First the biking, and then we make the game.
I'm taking a ride out to explore the nature around the inlands of Halland. There are scenic cycle paths here that will take you along the coast or inland to the fantastic countryside around these parts. I'm also on the hunt for local food producers, and my first stop is at a turkey farm.
How old are these birds?
They are 10 weeks.
So they're just babies, and they're still quite big.
Yes, but 12 and 15 weeks, and they are normal to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to him.
Yeah, the turkey whisperer.
My outdoor adventure continues, and I'm about to meet with the Kvibille cheese producers. Kvibille cheese is extremely popular in Sweden, and the village is home to one of the oldest dairies still in operation in the whole of the country.
You find traces of Denmark here in Halland.
The founder of the blue cheeses in Denmark, Dana Blue, bought this dairy. and developed the blue cheese to become what it is today.
Fyrbille Dairy is also the only manufacturer of Swedish cheddar.
The previous owners who ran this place for 58 years, they left this for us. So there is tradition in this.
No.
It's supposed to be like that?
It's supposed to be
I thought it was
like
broken. I was like, to fix it for you. Let me just take care of that.
You go like this, around.
Super thin.
Fluffy cheese.
So it's
Put it
like
here.
shaved really thin.
Yes. And it gets warmer. The
Okay.
temperature goes up.
So this is the
So it's
professional
really
style,
lovely. Yes.
and this is the crude tourist
Yeah.
version of it. Okay, I'll put that down.
It goes very well with a glass of wine.
Sorry.
Cheers!
Cheers. Oh, you. So here I am outside of the beautiful Halmstad castle, which was actually built by a Danish king in the early 1600s. He was called Christian IV. But today it's Swedish, and I will be cooking a Swedish classic out here. It's called a Wallenbergare, and it's really a minced beef made out of veal, but today it will be made out of turkey instead. And the secret to this dish is to put as much cream into the mixture as possible. And with it, I'll be serving some nice fresh peas, even got some nice fava beans, and I've got some cucumber here. We make a traditional cucumber called pressed cucumber, or pressgurka in Swedish. But we need to get started with the patties. I start off with the little, I work that into the meat, and then I just keep topping up until I've got something that resembles a very soft but still shapeable mixture. So 400 grams of meat, and I will be using almost 400 mils of cream, so roughly 50-50. And you should have something that resembles this. It's nice and soft, but it can still hold its shape. Any more cream than this, and it's just going to start running. Dip it in your breadcrumbs, push it down a little bit. There you go. And just gently flip it over. See how soft that is? You can just barely hold it with your hands. And there you go, that's ready to hit the pan. When you cook these, it's important to have a lot of butter. And turn down the heat a bit. They should just be lightly golden brown to the color when they're done. So don't crank up the heat too much. Keep it at a low or to at least a medium pace. And while these babies are cooking, I'm going to start working on the cucumber. I've got my sharp knife out. Get all of those nicely thin cucumber slices in there. And then just take a pinch of salt, work it into the cucumbers, and let the salt do its magic here. And press it gently. Work the salt into the cucumber. So now my cucumber is pressed, sort of semi-transparent, and ready to be finished. And for this I need to use some acidic vinegar. This one holds about 12%. Just a dash. This is really acidic, so just a dash of it. Something like that. And then sugar. Normal caster sugar. And quite a lot of it as well. Just fold it into the cucumbers here and the water and everything. Now to finish off the cucumber and just give it that last little essential freshness, I love to use parsley and then just chop it up. Now that parsley really just accentuates the freshness even more. That's done. And so are these. Just have a look at them. Beautiful, light and golden in color. Time to plate and enjoy. Nice and crisp on the outside, but really juicy on the inside. Cucumbers right there, just like my nan made them. And they were my favorite when I was a kid. Whenever she made those in the kitchen, I was always there pinching, and she'd be, get off the bowl. Can't eat them yet. I don't know if it rained at the time when it happened, but in 1676, on the 17th of August, there was a battle between the Swedes and the Danes south of Halmstad. And here is where the battle ended. The Swedish soldiers, round about 20 of them or so, chased all of the Danes, round about 15 of them, out of these cliffs and into the falls. Therefore the name, the Danish Falls. So this is where their battle ended, and mine continues.
If there's one ingredient that's distinct to Halland, it's the kale. I'm on my way to meet with one of the region's kale farmers.
Hi there.
Welcome to Lillesjö.
Thank you very much. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah? Can we go out and have a look?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
I'll just plant my bike here. Yeah.
Kale is a form of cabbage, which is considered to be closer to wild cabbage than most domesticated forms. It's a highly nutritious vegetable with powerful antioxidant properties. I've come to check out this local kale farm to see what all the fuss is about.
Well, I think it's a tradition that we have been Danish, and the Danish people have eats more kale than we do in Sweden. And most of Denmark eats kale.
Can I have like maybe one or two here?
Yeah, of course, of course.
There's one. Off to the wedding. Da dum da da. Da dum da da.
Here, everybody has their own way of preparing kale. Rune's friend Axel is preparing the kale for me as he wants it to be sampled properly.
So that's the kale. That's traditional cooked kale.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see if he did it correctly. Okay. There's the liquid. Oh, look at that. That's nice.
Yes.
Very nice. I like it a lot.
Yeah. And that's the way we think it should
Do you
be
like
doing.
it?
No.
He's not old enough.
People usually ask me if I like it, and then I answer like no, and they can't understand me because it's my father who produces. I usually say I can't eat what we make a living of.
That's right, I taught him. I taught him well.
Thank you very much. And I'll just take this with me, put it on my bike, and I'll be heading off to the next one.
Situated just outside Halmstad is Wapnö Castle. This incredible mansion has been turned into an ecological farm.
I know that you're basically self-sufficient,
Yes.
and you also make your own energy.
Yes, we do, yes. We have our own biogas plant.
Wapnö Farm is the only self-sufficient farm in Sweden. They produce both heat and cooling by using cow manure. They also produce meat and dairy products.
So where are we heading now?
We're heading out to our harvest machine.
We're going to ride it?
Yes, if we want to.
Yes. See, this is something I always wanted to try. Now that was cool. Childhood dream come true. What an amazing machine. Everything is run by GPS. When they harvest, they don't even have to steer the machine. Where are we going now then?
We're heading off to the maternity stable.
So we'll look at the little calves?
Yes, we are.
Ooh, nice. Oh, look at them. And there's a newborn right
yes, it's a newborn.
there. Looks like she's ready to give birth any time over there.
Yes, it looks like that, yes.
She's panting anyway.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and get some of that raw milk that's used for a specific dessert here, which is called kalvdans or veal dance. And it has to be the first milk after the carvings.
Yeah.
Any advice for me?
I can
You want to try?
prepare.
Yeah, do that. So you massage a little bit and
Yeah.
just calm her down.
Yeah.
And
Now you sit down and the bucket.
yeah, here's that raw milk. It's almost yellow to its color, isn't
Yeah.
it? Now this is going just fine, isn't it? So we're not going to take much, just a little bit. Oh, that's it. Sorry, darling, but you're standing in my milk bucket. Here we go. But I need the bucket, darling. Yeah. You think you can lift your foot? I'm sorry, darling, but let's see what happens. There we go. Nice.
Nice, but now
it's
milk is very bad.
We'll give it one more try. So we're not going to take a lot, just a little bit. So I'm going to leave her alone in just a few seconds. I think that's enough. Thank you very much, darling. You did very well. So we've got the raw milk. Enough for us?
Yeah.
We'll head back.
So we have our milk, but I can't leave without getting my hands on some of that lovely meat.
Can I have like a proper steak? Say like 400 grams or so. Yeah, something like that. That looks beautiful. That's a proper size steak. Thank you. It's absolutely incredible, that beautiful raw milk to use as an ingredient, but it is so hard to get by. If you haven't got it, then you need to add some egg yolks to the mixture instead, which you absolutely can do. Veal dance or kalb dance is very similar to creme brulee, but you don't coat it with sugar and you don't burn it. So this is how you make it. 1 measure of raw milk and 1 measure of just standard milk. So equal amounts. And just look at the difference in color between the two. That raw milk is absolutely yellow. It looks like vanilla sauce almost, and the regular milk is just white. Now just mix these two and you've got your base for your veal dance. Now, of course, you need to add some sweetness to it and some spice as well. I've got some sugar here, 1 and 2. A pinch of salt as well. And then some cardamom. I'm going to add 2 pinches. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's really going to flavor it. All you need to do now is just stir this until the sugar is dissolved. About 150 degrees centigrade in the oven for roughly 15 minutes. All right, so I've got my veal dance in the oven at 150 degrees, and it's time for me to focus on the main course. And it's going to be beef today. I've got a beautiful piece here. I've got some kale. That's going to be in the dish, of course. Now, we're in Holland, we have to have it. But it's going to be a flirt with France this time, just a little bit. I've got some really beautiful new garlic. I'm going to smoke the garlic and mix it into a nice, soft, creamy cheese. It's going to be magnificent together with the beef. But we also need something that's a bit sweet and sour. Onions. These red onions are just going to be lightly pickled, and I'll start with that, and then we'll get going with the beef. These pickled red onions are so easy to make. Equal amounts of white wine vinegar and normal sugar. Now just stir these two together. And just keep stirring until the sugar is dissolved. And if you think it's just too powerful altogether, just add water to it. So it's time for me to cook the beef. I'm just going to keep it very, very simple. A bit of salt and add some pepper to it as well. Some crushed black pepper, a nice and hot pan, and in the meat goes. This is where my cooking school begins. If you leave the meat for too long on one side and then turn it over and thinking you're going to get a perfect result, well, think again. You need to turn the meat roughly every 30 seconds or so. That will make the meat cook more evenly, and you'll be able to distribute the heat throughout the meat, giving you a much better end result. And keep doing that until you've cooked the meat to your liking. And for me, medium rare would be perfect. So the garlic goes in, and this is when I add my oil to the pan. I've turned down the heat, and I'm placing the meat on top of the garlic. All of the juice from the meat is going to go down into the pan and be soaked up by the garlic. I told you I was going to smoke the garlic, and I am. So I'll just take the garlic from the pan, place it here in the bowl. Nice and soft garlic. And then I've got some wood chips here. This is alder. And just take the wood chips and place it in here. And then, of course, you need to add a bit of heat. So I've got my little gas burner here. Set it on fire, and out comes the smoke. Now just place it in here, a plate on top. So while the garlic sits in there and soaks up that smoke, I'm going to get started on that cream cheese cream. 1 teaspoon of white wine vinegar goes in. And look at that texture. That is perfection. To crush the garlic, just use your knife and just press it against the cutting board like this. Smoky garlic into the cream it goes. That's it. All I need to do now is fry some kale, and then it's plating time. First you get the meat, and that spicy garlic is there. Onions that are crisp and sweet and sour. Bold, big flavors. Really good. Well, let's try the veal downs. Now this is something you do not eat every day. In fact, I've had it once or twice in my life. But just see how well it's cooked. It's completely set. Remember, no eggs. Just that raw milk. I think I could eat this like every day for breakfast, lunch, dinner, like a snack in between, before you got to bed. I think I would like some salmon, a really nice piece.
This is farmed salmon.
That's farmed salmon, yeah.
This is wild salmon.
Then wild salmon it is, 100%. But that's here, that's from here.
It's from here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost 99.9% of all salmon that you can get is farmed salmon. So when you do have the opportunity to buy wild salmon, do it and experience the difference, because it's immense. It's an incredible difference in between the two. Much firmer, darker meat. Incredibly good, incredibly good.
As I'm now at the beach, I'm meeting up with one of the local surfers who's made this place his home.
It's a beautiful place you've got. Thank you very much. Thank you. How did you end up here?
Well,
it's a long story.
Yeah.
We got all night. Spill your guts.
Mostly the surf. I'm from Stockholm. The waves aren't big up there.
So it was really surfing on the beach, or the life on the beach, that drew you here to this place?
Definitely.
But being a surfer here is kind of odd.
Mostly it starts with windsurfing or kites, something related to wind, because we got a lot of wind here. I mean...
And even today it's nice and windy.
Yeah.
It's offshore, but it's nice and windy. Would you say you're living the dream now, or?
Yes. If I get the permit that makes me allowed to stay here forever, then I'm really living the dream.
After getting to know Peter over a chat on the beach, I'm going to cook him up a tasty treat.
I've got this beautiful wild salmon, which is something extra, something you have to try when you get here. This is going to be sugar salted and flavored with some dill. It's the same procedure as curing the salmon, but instead of leaving it for 2 or 3 days, allowing it to be completely cured, it's just going to sit for about 10 minutes. So it's going to have the flavor of cured salmon, but it'll be as nice and moist and tender as fresh. And with that, I've got this beautiful kale. This kale, I'm not going to do that traditional kale that they do, that has just a tiny bit of cream. Instead, this is going to be rich in cream, nice and super creamy, and some cumin. This is a combination I've tried before, and it really works with that salmon. But it needs something fresh. So I've got some nice apples here. These apples are going to be turned into a raw apple salad with some local mustard that's nice and spicy, and some arugula, and that's it. So we'll start by curing the salmon. Now, curing salmon could be the easiest recipe that you will possibly find in any of the Nordic countries. All you need is salt and sugar, and then whatever spice you decide to put in there. I'm going to use dill, but it could have been cumin or whatever you decide. Just mix these 2 spices together, get some fresh dill, chop it, mix it, and then just rub the salmon with it. Done. And use a lot of it. And I will leave it over here 10 minutes, and then it's done. The kale that I've got here, picked just recently. It's nice and fresh, and it's a little bit spicy as well at the end. Take those fine leaves and put them directly in the pot. Nice, big, chunky pieces. All right, so there we go. I'm going to save some of it for the salad. It's nice to have that raw kale in the salad as well. I'm just going to put all of my ingredients in the pot at once, and then just turn on the heat and see if the magic happens. So let's get started on that fresh salad that will accommodate these two. I'm keeping the skin on the apples. I'll be making sort of a vinaigrette, like a mustard vinaigrette, directly in the bowl together with the apples. Sweet and sour, hot local mustard, about a tablespoon of that. Some nice rapeseed oil. Got some white wine vinegar here, just a dash. Just mix these ingredients together, taste it. If you want to adjust it here with more vinegar, it's up to you, but in my opinion, it's lovely and fresh. All I need to do now is just add a bit of arugula and some chopped raw kale. Done.
It's perfect.
I really like it like this, creamy, and I think the cumin gives it a really nice taste to go with the salmon.
It's good.
It's good. They're good.
Like, on a scale, it doesn't exist. That scale.
It's off the scale. Yeah. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you.
Only one last thing remains.
We should have a game, of course.
The table tennis duel against Jörgen Persson.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh!
Thank you.
You're killing me.
Sorry. Good game.
This is where my journey in Halmstad will end. But I have to say, it really is the summer city of Sweden. But it's also a city of great contrast. Here I've seen everything from crazy parties at the beach to traditional kale farmers in the countryside. It's also a place where people stand firmly with both feet on the ground, not easily impressed, but never late to pay compliment to great achievement. And perhaps it's just that. The combination of the young and crazy and the old and traditional, backed up with some amazing produce, that makes me believe that this place is about to explode in culinary innovations.